So I'm bush hogging along, minding my own business, looking at the beautiful sky around me, and, solving the world's problems. Having a great time when suddenly I realized that the machete that I typically have stowed on the tractor is gone. It's missing. And I think, crap. Nice piece of oak. I guess the question is, what do I want this new handle to look like? What kind of shape am I gonna go with here? Don't know yet. I know that we've got to cut out a slot for the steel to fit in, which is gonna be the hardest part, I think. Not sure exactly how to do that. And my table saw, which I think would probably be the best job for this, is not on location. Been hunting around for something to use for pins to hold the handle on, and I think this aluminum tent stake should get the job done. Now, yes, of course, I could go down to the hardware store and pick up a brand new machete. A Tramontina machete fresh off the shelf for about 20 bucks. Yes, it would save me all this effort. Of course, I could go online and I could get them for even cheaper than that. Certainly, and it could be delivered to my door in a very short period of time. But that's not the point, friends. The point is that we're fixing this thing and we're gonna add some character to it. I've had this machete for quite a few years now, and I just like it. You know, it's my machete, and it'd just be kind of a shame to throw it away simply because of a busted handle. You know what I mean? And now if I put a my handle on here and I get it to work and it looks good and it functions properly, you know, I could pass this down maybe one day. This really inexpensive, cheap machete, I could potentially pass down with a new handle. You know, maybe it'll be the third, fourth handle that I've put on here, and maybe the blade's been ground down over the years, and who knows? But I don't know. It's something I enjoy doing. I think you guys can appreciate that. It's just instead of being a participant in the throwaway culture that we live in. You know, everything is a throwaway from tools like this to cars. You know, once they wore out, you can't really fix them anymore. It's not worth it. It's so much cheaper and easier just to replace them. But maybe we're not the type of people that want to participate in that throwaway culture. Maybe we want to be different. We want to be the change. The nozzle on my Gorilla Glue is all dried up, so I'm going to try not to make a giant mess, but it's probably inevitable. Look what you did. Dadgummit. I'm not upset. That's not annoying. So I've decided to try to salvage it. I know it's not one piece anymore, but I mean, most knife scales aren't one piece. So let's see if I can salvage it. We're gonna let that set up and see how we did. Hopefully not all is lost. Friends, good morning, welcome back. Ran out of time yesterday and I had to let the glue set up so I could fix my my debacle that I've got going on here. So let's see how we did. Check in on our progress and see if we can salvage this thing here. And so often the case when I get going on a project, I get in a hurry and I lose patience. I get impatient and I end up screwing up the entire thing and having to start over. And I don't listen to that little voice in my head that says, slow down, be patient, take your time. And projects like this require some patience, which I am often, I have a low supply of the patience, and I'm sure you guys can relate. Crack into this thing here. I think we can make that work. Ah, there's a bug in my coffee. Lame. So I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but I think my love for crafting, fixing, repairing stuff, you know, the DIY approach to things comes from when I was a kid. You know, me and my Papaw, he was my best friend. You know, I love my Papaw and I miss him so much. Like hardly a day goes by and I don't think about him, at least in some way, you know. And because we used to do so much together, you know, he would make things with him and I would make all kinds of stuff. We would have all sorts of projects. We'd make knives together. We'd go fishing together, and you know, we just had so much in common. You know, he was in his 60s when he died in a motorcycle accident, and you know, and the thoughts of that really slow me down. You know, when I'm riding my motorcycle, I haven't given it up based on that. You know, as devastating as it was, and as hard as that loss was, because we potentially still have him. You know, he'd be in his 80s now, right around 90 maybe, but we potentially still have him. And, you know, we lost him early. I was around 20 or so, and I lost my best friend. And, you know, losing him in a motorcycle accident has definitely slowed me down. I definitely slow down, because that's always on my mind when I'm out there doing a dangerous activity such as that. But I haven't let it stop me, because that's not what he would want. It's not what he would want from me, and he wouldn't be impressed by me quitting something that's dangerous. Because I was afraid. That would be disappointing to him, I think. But yeah, like I said, you know, my Papaw is the one that kind of initially we got me involved in making and crafting things. We used to make knives and stuff together on a bench grinder out of old files, and that's where it's all started, and that's why I kind of enjoy it so much, and that's why I like. I mean, I could come out here and do this myself, and I would still enjoy it, but being able to share it with you it makes it all the more valuable. That's what kind of, you know, makes it more worth it to me. I could come out here and I could do a lot of things just by myself. I could go on adventures and go camping and stuff just by myself, or even take people along with me. But the fact that I can share it with thousands of people, and people can find entertainment out of it, find joy out of it, find motivation to go do these things for themselves, that is what makes it all worth it to me. So guys, I really do appreciate you watching all of my videos. I'm super grateful for it. There's tons of ways you can help support the channel and allow me to continue going and doing these things, making these projects, and going on the adventures and taking you guys along on the ride. Tons of ways to support the channel. We've got Patreon now, we've got Substack, and we've just recently actually reduced the cost of the Substack. It's down to like $4 now. So if you want to become a Substackian, a Substacker, I'm not sure what you call them, but if you want to be one of those, we put articles on there all the time, survival checklists, free stuff like that all the time if you're a member. And so head on over there, or you can just be, the easiest thing probably is just be a member on YouTube. YouTube sucks though. They take a huge percentage of all the memberships. So it's easy, but they do take a large chunk of that. But anyway, I'd be really grateful for any and all support to the channel that you guys could do. And I'll get back to work. Kind of a mystery what this is going to end up looking like, but I've got a cool idea that I'm gonna try. trying to salvage the paracord here, but I keep hitting it. I'm just gonna cut this off and end up replacing it. So let's just get that out of the way. So I've got the handle pretty much in the shape that I want. Everything turned out good. This is my favorite color, by the way. Meadow green. I never knew it was meadow green until I bought this spray paint, but turns out meadow green is my favorite color. For today's comment, if you don't feel like talking about machete handles, let me know what your favorite color is. Always helps the algorithm. I'm putting it on pretty thick because I don't mind if it runs. Like that doesn't matter. You'll see. I want it to fill up those holes. I could dip it in some paint, but I feel like that would take a lot longer. Set up for a minute and maybe put another coat so I can get all in those little holes. It's gonna look cool. You'll see. So we're back. Had to take a couple days off. We've been setting up for our huge annual kind of fall Halloween party. Happens a little bit early this year because of schedules, but you know how it is. But anyway, that's kind of what we got going on so far. A huge haunted house and then a 14-foot tall skeleton right there in the yard. It's gonna be fantastic. A lot of work setting it up. My brother-in-law has really put in a ton of effort to make this thing happen, but it's gonna be a big party. Lots of people are gonna be here. I think last year we did it, we had, I don't know, 75 people, something like that. Maybe more this year. Who knows? But the party's gonna be excellent. There's gonna be a haunted hayride and all that kind of good stuff. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that. I'm a Christian man. I am a follower of Jesus. How do you feel about celebrating Halloween? How do you feel about it? I mean, I know how I feel about it, but I'd like to know what you think. I think a lot of people that are Christians kind of avoid it and they dodge it because they feel like they're worshiping Satan or something like that, the occult, devil worshipers. But the way that I look at it is that it's an opportunity for us to have a good time, for us to have fun, dress up, play games. It's an opportunity for us to get together as a like-minded group of people that share common values and beliefs. And maybe not. Maybe we get to bring some people in that don't share those common values and beliefs, and they can experience, what it's like maybe to be like that, to be a Christian in a world of chaos. And I believe that evil is real. I mean, I think you'd be crazy not to believe that it's real. I think evil is absolutely real, but this is an opportunity for us to laugh in the face of it. We've beaten it. We've already beaten it, and I think this is just a chance for us to do that. I think it always comes down to like what's in your heart. Like what's in your heart. Like if you're doing this and dressing up as demons and stuff, and because you are trying to uplift those entities, those evil beings, then yeah, I agree that's wrong. Sure. But if in your heart you're doing it just out of as a want, as a willingness to include your community in events where we can laugh and have fun and grow stronger as a community, I think that's where my heart's at, and I don't see anything wrong with that. But let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Well, I've got my handle just about, it's not perfect. It's got quite a few imperfections, but good grief. I mean, come on. It's a machete. It's a $20 machete that I'm fixing here. So let's not get too picky about it. So all I'm gonna do now is just kind of finish sanding it and getting it smoothed out a little bit. And I'm leaving some of that green on the handle, which I think looks kind of cool. And we're also gonna give it another paracord wrap here real shortly. Let that soak for a few minutes. Now, I would typically use paracord for wrapping this portion of the steel right here closest to the handle so I can choke up on the blade and get closer to the center of the machete and make chopping a little bit more accurate. But I found some of this kind of heavier, thicker cordage here that might work even better for that than paracord. So we're going to try that out over itself like that. Oh, pull this. Boom. Now our edge has been abused over the past year or so, and it's got some fairly large nicks in it. You know, nothing not fixable, of course, but be nice to kind of get those out since we're working on the thing. And I always convex the edges on the machetes because it makes them more durable. That rounded shoulder of the edge is really strong. On the longer machetes like these, I don't even sharpen the end at all because those are just gonna hit rocks and hit the ground and stuff anyway. Doesn't really matter. The primary chopping portion of the blade is right there. That's pretty much it where you're gonna be working, and maybe some here if you're doing a little bit of carving, cutting with it. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do that. It helps out a lot. And leave any comment. Any comment will do. Like I said before, what's your favorite color? It doesn't really matter. Just leave some sort of comment. And guys, I've got subscriptions now, so you can subscribe just through YouTube and help support the channel and allow me to continue making some pretty awesome videos like this one. We've also got Patreon and Substack. If that's something you think you might be interested in, supporting the channel and seeing behind the scenes content, articles, survival checklists, gear, and stuff like that. Make sure you check that out. It'll be in the description and comment section. Or if you just want to, you know, buy me a cup of coffee once a month. I mean, that would be cool too. It's $4. You know, I don't even know if $4 buys you a cup of coffee anymore. Depends on where you go, I suppose. Hair, shaven, sharp machete right there. That is fantastic. Spray it down with some WD-40, keep it from rusting on us. Not that we care that much. All right, friends, there you have it. A repaired handle for a beloved old machete right there. Razor sharp, oiled up, new oak handle. Yes, it's got imperfections. It's not perfect. Just like me, it has many flaws. But it's also tough and ready to rock. I keep it on the tractor, so when I am bush hogging and there's branches and stuff hitting me in the face, I can pull that machete out of here. I kept it. I used to keep it right here, right there in a sheath, but I gotta get a new sheath. So Shannon, if you're watching, I need an 18-inch machete sheath. I'm good for it. I'll send you the money. But yeah, so now it's ready to rock. It lives outside. It'll stay right here on the tractor. So when I need it, I can use that machete. Friends, I really do appreciate you watching. Sorry it took me so many days to make this video, but life, you get it. Got stuff going on. Thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next time, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just go on 3.